Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're plunging into something, well, quite unsettling, actually. A paradox that's come up from new evidence in a really high-profile, disturbing case.
We're talking about the Bryan Kohberger investigation.
Exactly. People magazine got hold of over 500 new evidence photos from his apartment at Washington State University. And what they show, some of it is surprisingly mundane, almost, affectionate considering the context.
Quite jarring.
Yeah. So our mission here is to sort of unpack that, guide you through the key insights, the surprising little facts these images reveal. We're going to look really closely at some seemingly ordinary items specifically, a couple of birthday cards and what they might tell us about the timeline, and maybe the person involved.
And obviously there's huge public interest here. The murders of those 4 University of Idaho students, Madison Mogen, Kaylee Goncalves, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin, back on November 13th, 2022. People are still trying to understand it.
Understandable.
And what's fascinating, I think, is how even in these massive legal cases, tiny details, things like birthday cards, can suddenly offer these significant glimpses, insights into someone's life, their mindset, especially right before and right after something so horrific.
It really throws things into sharp relief. Okay, so let's start with the photos generally. Over 500 images, you said.
That's right. A lot to go through.
And they show, everything, right? His criminology textbooks, exams. I mean, he was doing a PhD.
Yeah, the academic side, but then also the forensic stuff. Hair follicles, potential blood stains, that kind of thing.
Grim details. But then, like you said, tucked in there, birthday cards, photos of birthday cards he received.
And this is where the timeline becomes absolutely crucial.
Right. So the murders happened November 13th, 2022, his birthday. November 21st, 2022, he turned 28.
Just 8 days later.
Less than 2 weeks after the killing. So these cards, they arrived after the alleged crimes, days after.
And psychologically, that juxtaposition is just staggering.
Yeah.
It really makes you think about how someone could maintain that outward normalcy.
Or just receive birthday wishes, expressions of love so soon after that.
Exactly. You start wondering about compartmentalization, or maybe a really skewed self-perception. How does that even work?
Yeah.
It's deeply unsettling to consider.
Definitely. And there's a small detail from the photos, too, the envelopes for these cards.
Ah, yes.
No postage marks, no stamps, which suggests they weren't mailed individually.
Probably not. More likely sent in a bigger package, maybe, or perhaps even delivered by hand.
Which just adds another layer to the timing and the personal connection, doesn't it?
It does. It feels more immediate.
Okay, let's look at the first card. This one seems to be from his parents, his mother and father. And the inscription inside, well, the part they quote is, it's very parental. A son leaves your home, but never leaves your heart. He discovers his own happiness, which in turn becomes yours.
Wow. That's,
Yeah.
a classic sentiment.
Very much so. And the photos show the envelope was covered in hand-drawn hearts. Just says, "Happy birthday, Bryan," on it.
Simple. Affectionate.
Yeah. The actual inside message is redacted in the photos they released. But still, that message, those hearts.
It's precisely that universal parental love, that hope expressed there, that makes the contrast so stark when you place it against the timeline.
Right.
It becomes almost surreal, This message, full of love and hope landing, just days after such alleged brutality, it really challenges our ideas about how well families know each other, what secrets can be hidden beneath the surface.
It really does make you question perception. Okay, on to the second card. They think this one is likely from one of his sisters.
That's the speculation, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Apparently, digital forensics found very few contacts in his phone, suggesting a smaller circle, maybe.
Interesting. And this one's addressed differently, more informal. Bren.
A bit playful.
Yeah. And there's this little note on the back. It says, "I did not lick it, BC Shach COVID mead."
Ah, right. That detail.
Which seems to line up with other reports saying Kohberger is or was a germaphobe.
It does seem to confirm that, doesn't it? And it's such a mundane, almost quirky detail in the midst of something so horrific.
Totally out of place somehow.
But it's these little things, right? These personal habits, these anxieties, they add texture. They don't explain the crime, obviously, but they build a picture of the person, or maybe the persona. And again, the contrast with the alleged violence is jarring.
How do those things coexist?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? How does that meticulousness, that perhaps anxiety about germs, fit with the brutality of the alleged acts?
Yeah. And the card itself, the cover is unique. It's a cartoon of Teddy Roosevelt riding a dinosaur.
Okay.
And the quote is, "Speak softly and carry a big stick. Unless you can ride a dinosaur, then do that instead.
Oh, Wookie.
And the sender added little arrows pointing to Roosevelt and the dinosaur, calling them his egos.
His egos.
And wrote, "You are a Dino Plus Professor LMAO."
Wow. Okay, so that's quite revealing, potentially. That kind of playful teasing, calling out his egos, linking him to being a Dino Plus professor.
It gives you a little window into how maybe his family saw him, right? Or teased him.
Exactly. It hints at a personality, maybe one he projected academic, maybe a bit stoic or old-fashioned like a dinosaur. Who knows? But again, it's this glimpse of a normal family dynamic, that inside humor.
Which clashes completely with the allegations.
Completely. Inside the card, you can see Bryan, the date, 112122, a smiley face in highlighter.
The rest is blacked out mostly, except the pre-printed bit at the end.
Which says,
"Happy birthday, celebrate like a boss."
Celebrate like a boss, right.
Yeah.
So again, this very normal, lighthearted birthday message.
Okay, so let's pull this together. He gets these cards around November 21st. By that point, the murders from November 13th are huge news everywhere. A massive investigation is already underway. He's reportedly keeping a low profile.
And yet, he's receiving these messages. Happy birthday, Bryan. Hand-drawn hearts. Jokes about dinosaurs and egos. Celebrate like a boss.
It's like two different realities running in parallel.
That's exactly it. You have the reality of the national manhunt, focusing tighter and tighter, the horror of the crime itself, and then this private reality of being a son, a brother, getting birthday cards.
The cognitive dissonance is just immense.
It really pushes our understanding of, human behavior. How can someone seemingly navigate those two worlds simultaneously? Does one feel more real than the other? Is there any bleed through? We just don't know.
And think about the later context, too. He's arrested just over a month later, right? At his parents' place in Pennsylvania over the holidays.
That's right.
And reports mentioned his mother, who he apparently called right after the murders. She and his sister were there in court later when he was sentenced after confessing.
Which adds another layer of complexity, doesn't it? The same family member sending these loving, humorous cards, later witnessing the legal consequences, knowing about the confession, but the motive still remaining this huge public mystery.
The gap between those messages of affection and the brutal reality, it's profound. And the silence about why.
It really underscores the enduring mystery, not just of the crime, but of the person. How do you reconcile the loving son and brother in those cards with the confessed killer? The lack of a stated motive just deepens that chasm.
So this deep dive, it really highlights that tension, doesn't it? The chilling closeness of everyday family life, normal affection to this extraordinary, horrific violence.
It's deeply disquieting.
A real reminder of the complexities hidden inside people, even within seemingly normal family relationships.
Absolutely. And, seeing evidence like this, mundane things like birthday cards, set against such an extreme crime, it forces you to confront uncomfortable ideas. About duality, yes, but also just about how little we might truly know about someone else's internal world.
Even those closest to us.
Precisely. How much can be hidden? How effectively can someone maintain a facade, or maybe even genuinely live in separate mental compartments? It makes you wonder about the limits of empathy and understanding when faced with acts that seem utterly incomprehensible. What does it truly tell us about the human mind's capacity to wall things off? Even from itself, perhaps. That's the thought that really lingers.